Keith, thanks for taking a few minutes to sit and speak with me. We're heading into the first post-split fixture this weekend. How do you reflect on the season so far, both on and off the park?
Yeah, more progress I think. I think it's got to be said, I think Stephen and the football staff have done another fantastic job, another top six finish, which is I think it's got to be commended in terms of our competitors and who we're competing against. It's not an easy task. I think that's borne out by the statistics in terms of how many times we've managed to do it over a number of years. But it's down to a lot of hard work, a lot of planning, a lot of hard work, and that continues. This is not a time for giving ourselves a pat on the back. This is a time for kicking on now, and what we've given ourselves is an opportunity to do that, and we know what the potential rewards can be now, particularly for that fifth spot, and all focus now turns to that.
The club's strategy was launched in October. We're around 6 months on from that point. How do you view its success thus far?
Yeah, it's still obviously early days, but I think I spoke about it at the time. I felt as if it was important that the club, had a document, had something to anchor its priorities, and I think, with our Paisley people and performance pillars, it's something that, in all aspects of the club, all aspects that I want to try and move forward, it really gives us a framework to work to, and everybody within the organisation, outside the organisation, knows what we're trying to achieve, knows, as I say, what our priorities are, and I think the early signs are good. I think obviously on the pitch, hopefully, part of that's bearing fruit. I think the alignment with our academy and a lot of work, implementation of our new football board, and having input from all levels of the football club in terms of the football side of things, and then obviously reaching into our people development and the culture that we want to set around St Mirren Football Club, and what that working culture is like and what people know it to be. So it's a really big piece of work. We feel as if it's something that's going to, as I said, anchor the club for many years to come, and it's something that we will report back on. I think that's important. It's okay having a strategy and having it there, but we don't want to have it and just stick it on a shelf and then move on. We want to report back on it, check progress, and we will do that in due course.
You talked about the football alignment with the first team and the academy as well as the women's team. Can you talk us through it a little bit more about what that actually involves?
Yeah, again, it's alignment is the word that we'd use. I think like a lot of football clubs, they have their different component parts, and sometimes they don't quite talk to each other as well as they could. We know to compete and to continue to compete both on and off the pitch, we need to talk to each other. We need every part of that puzzle to be pointing in the right direction and to become greater than the sum of their parts, essentially. And to do that, we need to join up. We need to know each other's priorities and aims and targets and join them together and try and magnify those. So a key part has been the implementation of the football board, which is representation from board level down through first team level, academy level, myself, and then I'll report back and meet up with Kate and the women's side, and really trying to knowledge share and, as I say, make sure that whether it's recruitment, whether it's the academy syllabus, whether it's players transition from academy to first team, the women's team integration, all of those things are spoke about at a kind of centralised forum, and then goals are set, and then we can then take them forward. And I firmly believe that gives us the best chance, as I said before, of competing and continuing to move the club forward.
We've seen a number of infrastructure upgrades in and around the stadium this season. Can you talk us through some of the work that's been undertaken? Yeah,
again, I think hopefully the fans will see, those improvements chipping away as we go. And yeah, everybody knows we don't have that big pot of money to go and dip into and really change everything overnight. But what we do want to do is, when we can, and when it's the finances there available, is to try and upgrade the stadium and upgrade our kind of output, if you like, in terms of how we show the club off as much as we can. So you see the new implementation, the new LED boards, both in the stadium and exterior screens at the stadium. And then obviously in terms of our hospitality offer, 3 new executive boxes, which are fantastic, and hopefully something again in terms of moving into next season will become something that will really start to generate the income that we need again as part of that puzzle to move the club forward. So yeah, it's part of my job. My job is to try and move the club forward on all fronts, both on and off the pitch, and I'm satisfied that I can see progress. Still plenty to do, but certainly progress in those areas.
There was going to be a FAM zone taking place here at the recent game against Hearts. Obviously, unfortunately, the weather put paid to that, but can you give us a little insight into what that would have entailed, and are there plans to do something similar to what was planned going forward?
Yeah, it was a shame. We'd really excited, a lot of planning going on behind the scenes, as you know as well. And unfortunately, as can happen in sunny Scotland, a lovely day today, right enough, but it's not obviously been the case that often to this point this year, and we had to cancel. But what I can say is that that will be resurrected, and it'll probably be, unfortunately, looks like the start of next season before we do that. But I think it's really important to say that one of the big priorities at the club is to enhance fan experience at the stadium as much as we possibly can. Colin Bright and John Allison, the SLOs, have done a fantastic job in building the family zone that we currently have, and it's our hope now to build on that and then take that to another level. And what the fam zone was going to be an extended family zone, but it would also have more offering for the adults as well, in terms of some food trucks and some alcohol trucks and things, so that the whole family can come and enjoy a St Mirren match day experience. And we feel that is just really important from board level down. We want to do what we can, and our first consideration really is making sure that every supporter that comes to this stadium has an enjoyable day. And we feel as if we do that, then we can hopefully, as the crowds have been, continue to build on that growth for the crowds, that knowing every day that comes along has an enjoyable time watching the football, but also their experience round about the stadium.
Speaking about that experience round about the stadium, fans fundraised the Mirren Mile. That was implemented just before the Hearts game. What have you made of that?
No, it's fantastic. I think just that whole idea of it. Again, it is about the football, but it's about that surrounding area as well, and trying to build a bit of ownership. Since the club have moved over to the stadium, there's so many fantastic memories at Love Street. But you want to try and have that sense of ownership around about this area of Paisley as well, and this area where the stadium is. And I think the Mirren Mile, I've got to say, the campaign and the project, the organisation that went into that, and fully fan run, I think was absolutely fantastic. And to see it to come to fruition the way it has is again great. And again, it builds on the Marching On group and the work that they did in the West Stand in terms of the concourse areas and the painting. And again, it goes back to the club. What is the club? And back to the strategy piece. What it is it's we're here to connect with our supporters, to be as one essentially, and it's back to that thing of being greater than the sum of your parts. And even these projects and things that are happening off the pitch are really important to again complement what we're trying to do on the pitch. So it's really important that these projects take place. And it's something that we don't want to stop at. Again, we want to try and do that more, and I'm engaging with fans groups all the time. Myself and Mark Gaich, our stadium manager, are engaging with all the different kind of groups of supporters that we have, to try and look at ways to, as I say, enhance the area around about the stadium and that match going experience.
Well, you touched on the supporters and the attendances here this season and over the last season as well. I believe over the last 2 seasons, 11 of the top 15 attendances since we moved into this stadium have come over that period. How pleasing has that been?
No, absolutely. It's one thing that when you come into the job, you want to try and see the attendances and things. How important it is to the club. But to see that kind of gradual growth, and again, credit's got to go to the manager and the players for providing a product that fans want to come and see, and hopefully we can do our bit off the pitch in the sense that providing an atmosphere and an environment that is comfortable and is enjoyable, that people can come along and enjoy that whole experience. And if you put those two things together, hopefully the fans will come and buy into it. And we've obviously got initiatives with local schools and local our academies, and through our Help a Buddy scheme, and trying to do what we can to hook as many people into St Mirren Football Club. And as I said, we feel as if we're making progress. There's still a lot of work to do. But to see those attendance figures, and I've got to mention the Hearts game. I know it wasn't the result that we would have liked, but that's the best I've seen the stadium. Since it was a real moment. It was hairs in the back of the neck stuff, to be perfectly honest, to see the scarves and the banners, and it was, that's how I see this football club moving forward. That's what we want to see more of, and that's what I'm determined and hungry to try and keep. Moving the club forward, that we can achieve that in an even more regular basis.
When you discuss the community as well, we've obviously got street stuff, which is celebrating 15 years this year. You've got the foundation, our new charity partnership with Homestart. How important have they been as community partners?
Yeah, vitally important. Again, it's who you are. It's who you are as a club. And we are a community football club. It's again going back to the strategy. We wanted to be the best community centre development football club in Scotland, and we only do that by connecting and augmenting our charity partners and the charitable foundation, and doing what we can to help Gail. Good luck to Gail and John with our ATAP cycle on Sunday as well. While I'm on it. And our street stuff campaign, as you say, 15 years, a unique partnership with the club for a long time in terms of being out there in the community and providing diversionary activities, which has had such an impact as well. And then obviously you mentioned our new strategic partner with Homestart, and again, helping local families, and that's the big thing for us, is the locality of it. We want to really do what we can as a football club to have an effect in Paisley and Renfrewshire, and that's why it plays such a big part in the strategy. And I'm a firm believer that's our duty, that we should be doing that. And along with ourselves and our fantastic volunteers that help out at the stadium on a daily and weekly basis, I just feel it's where we need to be and who we should be. And I'm again still progress to be made and work to be done, but again I think we're in the right space there and doing involved in the right projects.
From a personal perspective, you're coming up for almost 2 years in the role. How have you found those 2 years?
It's went quick, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I mean, just busy and quick, and probably half expected that, to be honest with you. But you're never quite sure until you get in the chair, as they say. But fantastic. I've really enjoyed it. Continue to enjoy it. As I say, I think we've made progress, but just never be satisfied. Never be satisfied. And I think I always felt the same as a player, as a coach, and I feel the same doing the job that I'm doing at the moment. But really enjoying it. A lot of work to do, but exciting. Exciting times, particularly this end to the season now. Exactly the reason I wanted to come to the club, because I think there's huge potential here. Coming from the area myself, I just know the history of the football club. I know the potential that's there, and I'll just hopefully that I've helped, but more so the fantastic staff that are behind the scenes as well, and if I can help play a part and with them and moving the club forward, then fantastic, and hopefully we can continue to make progress that I feel we have in the last couple of years.